Hello, welcome back. Today, we are graced by the presence of the Emperor, Imperator, El Emperador, a commanding archetype that beckons us to explore the themes of authority, structure, and the disciplined pursuit of creative power. So let's go right into it. Behold the Emperor, a symbol of unwavering authority and strategic leadership. From an archetypal perspective, the Emperor represents the embodiment of order, governance, and the structured application of creative forces. As artists, we find inspiration in his assertive stance and the armor that shields him from chaos. In the realm of art, we are invited to approach our work with purpose and intention, and the controlled application of our creative energies. Bravura, bold brushstrokes, structured lines, and perhaps our color palette can evoke these regal atmosphere. Picture that interpretation. The Emperor guides our hand as we navigate the canvas or the panel or the paper, infusing our work with the same authority and discipline and creativity he embodies. Artists, like sovereign rulers of their craft, are called to embrace structure and discipline in their artistic pursuits. Through the art we create, we channel the emperor's wisdom, forging a path of authority and deliberate creation. Whether you wield a brush, a pen, or whatever your medium is, let the emperor be your guiding force. Embrace the power of structured creativity, discipline, and let your art reflect the regal strength that resides within. May your creative kingdom flourish under the watchful eye of the Imperator. That's how the Romans would call him. So let's talk about the history and iconography behind this card. This is one of the earliest surviving cards. It's possibly the oldest trump from 1420 to 1450. We find the Emperor card in the Visconti-Sforza. Legs crossed represent number 4, but also the symbol of Jupiter, king of the gods. He is a representative, the main representative of the Holy Roman Empire, the Imperium Christianum, the secular counterpart to the Pope, the undisputed supreme world leader above all else, King of Kings. And the oldest text, like the Marseille, he wears no armor or sword. Aries, in the Rider-Waite version, is the astrological ruling symbol. Force, aggression, and war are all part of his realm, but also the new life of spring, which can emerge from the stability of a just society. The eagle on the shield denotes connection to the heavenly powers, but also a connection with ego, which is present in all of us. Empires have always had an affinity for this bird. He represents the masculine physical, which correlates to air. Air symbolizes thinking or intellect, which may soar like an eagle. In the Tarot Neocolonial de las Americas, published by US Games, which is the card that I just showed you in the beginning, I used the image of Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor from the Habsburg family, 1516 to 1556, the empire on which the sun never sets. This card represents government, realization, chief among the mighty, logic, experience, wisdom, potency, stability, protection, and alpha male power, often political in nature. It's law and order, and self-discipline. The image implies anthropocentrism, patriarchy, hierarchy, the main ingredients of our civilization, like it or not. It can also signify harsh rulership and even dictatorship in a protective position of strength and infused with mentorship qualities. We meet our first mentor figure with the emperor. He's the father figure indeed. The emperor and the empress, as their names suggest, are a wedded pair. The father figure, in contrast to the mother, is traditionally seen as more remote and severe. The father figure often punished. The mother intervened. The father is indistinguishable from society as a whole. Mother is nature itself. The father teaches us rules and laws of society, bad and good, and the power that enforces them. Stiff, stoic, repressive, barren, and cold. This meeting of the empress and the emperor, symbolically speaking, is how the creative process works. Images, inspiration first, then you edit. We think with words, and we verbalize and rationalize. We now leave the matriarchal world, expressed mainly through music, dance, and art. We now enter the world of verbal logos and order. Words are the basis for all organized thought, self-examination, all science, all recorded history, and all civilization. If we're overly influenced by this archetype, we can become trapped by the world of words and be deceived into thinking words are equivalent to their reality. Words are just symbols. We must transcend their meaning, limited by language and culture. The emperor represents the civilized world of conscious man and the patriarchal world of the creative word. Alpha, after all, is the first letter of the alphabet. The alpha type of energy is what's present in this alpha male card. He also represents the rationalist approach to issues, one that values analysis and measurement over emotion and intuition. He is the father of civilization, overseer of building homes, villages, cities, and erect monuments. In mythology, he is Zeus, Jupiter, and Marduk. In popular culture, think of the architect in the Matrix films. And when it comes to empires, this is a matter of contention. Today we can think of the big transnational corpocracy and capital as standing for the figure of the emperor. We often call this the system. Many people call it the patriarchy, but really it's what our civilization is founded upon. In our current day culture, it seems very easy to point out the issues with historical patriarchy and empires as being evil and misguided. But we often forget that of all their contributions, which are plenty, because we wouldn't be here living the way we live if it wasn't for that whole patriarchal foundation, which has been responsible for building our whole society, our civilization, from its very beginning to the present. And this gave us roads, they gave us, infrastructure, the aqueducts, the architecture, art, culture, literature. You think of it. There's so many things that are positive contributions of empire, even with all of its ills and things that are, of course, no system is perfect, and we can point that out as well. But for the Romans, the emperor was the father of all of his people. Like fathers, they're good emperors, such as Marcus Aurelius, Octavian, and bad, like Nero or Caligula. Emperors are just like corporations or the police state. They're not really necessarily evil. They're just driven by agenda. I find it quite fascinating how much we idealize pirates, Vikings, and so much we despise Romans, right? Why is this Hollywood obsession with throwing down the empire? If we live in one, we are part of one. You are living comfortably thanks to the fruits of empire and colonialism. These empires have risen and fallen and risen again, and we are just children feeding off of a consequence of this whole history. Arguments in favor and against empire are many. We often forget that things are not black and white, they're gray. History is gray. Empires, after all, just like religions, are made up by men. So they are predisposed to all the human weaknesses that we have here and our ambition for power and all that. Now, when it comes to the number 4, which is the number for this card, it's symbolic of wholeness. The geometric equivalent is the square. The 4 directions of the compass keep us feeling safe from not being lost in uncharted areas. The 4 walls of the room give us a feeling of secure containment, which helps us to concentrate our energies and pinpoint our attention in a rational human way. Think of the 4 sides of a painting as well. The 3 dimensions in time, past, present, and future, are just abstractions until we have located them and pinpointed them in space. The Emperor brings permanence, stability, and perspective to time and space. Think of the 4 humors, the 4 elements, the 4 seasons, the 4 phases of the moon, the 4 evangelists, prophets, etc. 4 is our orientation in reality. 4 is also the tetragram, or the name of God. 4 is structure, social structure, the foundation of civilization and empire. Our interpretation of the Emperor really depends on our own relationship with our Father and fatherhood as well. If we have experienced it, it might be different. We might have not had a very good experience with our own fathers, but once we experience fatherhood, that might change us. This is what really colors our lens when we look and interpret the Emperor. Being a father has changed my perception of the word father. That's me. But everyone has a different experience. The ruler is the embodiment of the logos, or the rational principle. He orders our thoughts and energies, connecting them with reality in a practical way. He teaches us to be assertive, become a model, an example, a protector, an ideal father, which we often fail at. The ability to defend one's territory, to create firm boundaries and vigorously maintain them, not fearing anything or anyone. With this card, we must ask ourselves one big question. Who rules over and influences our culture and our lives today? Is it social media? Is it consumerism? Is it our own ideologies? Or the algorithms that we often fall prey to? Just think about this archetype for a moment and see how much it might be present or absent in your own life. So now I ask you, what kind of emperor you would be? And with that, my friends, we come to an end. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks a lot for listening and watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.